Welcome back to Bazooka, Kickboxing, and MMA. Today's episode, we're going to focus on bag work and how to improve our technique. If you've been following the technical series, we keep getting more and more advanced, but we never want to forget about our basics. And because of the lockdown, a lot of us are stuck at home with our bags and no training partners, no pad holders, so we really have to work on improving our skills on this bag at home. And no better way to start it with is improving the jab. Okay, so when I like to work the jab on the bag, it's all about angles, and you've seen that time and time again from the channel. If you want to throw an effective jab, it can't come from the same line. You have to make ups jabs, come down on angles, play around with footwork, feinting, and being able to attack on angles. Okay, so usually when I like to start, I'm going to bring in Matt Specier with me, one of my pro MMA fighters, and we're just going to warm up the jab. And that's one of the key things when getting into the bag work. Have a little bit of a warm up. Because the focus is on the jab is going to be our warm up. So one of the ways I like to warm up to begin with is we're just going to use our jab and circle around the bag. And when you do your bag work, I don't want you to focus on hitting the bag so hard. A jab is a precise weapon. It's thrown with precision, with good timing, and nice, clean, and straight path lines, okay? So when you're doing this warm-up drill, I want you to have a little bit of a bounce in your feet, mixing your head movement, your shoulders. This is showing feinting to help you create the angles. And now you're gonna work your way around the bag. Full extension, full snap, showing the knuckles that you want to land and just circle around the bag, okay? So sometimes I spend a couple minutes just coming around, circling in and out, keeping my feints moving. All right, for those more advanced followers, this is where you want to be able to mix up the head and the body. So I might jab to the head, jab to the body, and I can keep moving. For more of my beginning followers, it's important that maybe you just circle around one way first. So once I go around fully, okay, I can work my way back the other way. Okay, it's important to make sure you know how to step, okay, to the right, and you know how to circle to the left when throwing the jab. Okay, usually when my opponent's hands are straight, I want to be able to jab on angles to be able to get my punch down center line. Okay, so round one warm up, just mix that jab using the footwork. When you're feeling good, mix in that little pendulum bounce and keep circling. Once you're feeling warmed up, double jabs, head, body, and level change. Now, once you feel comfortable with the movement and the jab firing out, consecutively, we're gonna work that piston style jab. And when I jab, sometimes I like to punch vertical, which means I'm jabbing with my thumb up. Sometimes it's horizontal, where my thumb is horizontal to the floor. Then I can even throw my jab almost on like a nice little small arc to get over my opponent's punch. So that's what round two is going to be, working the different angles. So we're going to punch between vertical and horizontal jabs like a piston style, okay? So 1, 2, 3, okay? And you can see I'm just working that shoulder endurance, not overhitting the bag. Now, once my shoulder feels nice and warm, I'm going to start moving my feet at the same time as I circle, okay? So this here, I'm just working my deltoid in different angles, alternating between vertical and horizontal jabs. So you can see, even with my vertical, I might throw up, a little bit more up, I can throw straight, I can throw down. So I want you to work your deltoid to be able to throw that jab in different tempo and rhythm. And that's the key with a successful jab, not just a single, not just a double. Sometimes it might be light, hard, it might be speed, double quick, slow, bang. Okay, so you mix up the intensity, the rhythm, and the tempo is just gonna help. Vertical, horizontal play. Now that you've warmed up the jab using our footwork and the changes in vertical and horizontal, now is the time where you're gonna mix the feint, the level changes, and the angles all together. So this is where I want you to play jab only, okay? Jab only. But now you're going to be a little bit more unpredictable with the movement and the feinting and the level change, okay? So have some fun, play, and make sure it's angle and level changes, all right? So just dance around and play using those feints. Make sure you keep changing up that rhythm and the tempo. You can see I'm not smacking my bag here. Get nice and movement. And then when I'm ready, every so often, touch, boom! I'll smack that hard jab. Change the intensity is just gonna confuse your opponent. If I'm jabbing, nice at this range, all of a sudden I step in deep, my opponent thought the range was in one way, I changed the deception and made the range even longer, so now I confuse my opponent, okay? Keep moving and playing. Because of this bag workout, it's all about the jab, and the jab only. Round 4 and 5 should be using that jab to set up some of your favorite weapons. For example, if you're a rear puncher, you're gonna use that jab, the angles, the footwork, the level changes to set up that power hand. And that's the way I'm gonna use my bag work, using that jab to set up that power hand. Remember, you never wanna throw big single power without setting it up. It becomes predictable. So this is where that jab's gonna help you set up your power weapon. I'm known for my right power kick. So I'm gonna use my jabs, all those different variations to set up one, a nice power low kick, a body kick, or get my finish to the head with that power. So you wanna be able to make and use that jab to set up something more spectacular. Okay, so that's where you are gonna mix round 4 and 5 with your style, but everything's set up off the jab. Before I leave you, I'm just gonna make sure we clean up that jab because we don't wanna go through the whole workout with such terrible technique. Remember, a powerful jab comes from the ground. You wanna be able to push off that rear calf to take that step forward. As I push, I'm looking to keep my elbow in, last second, turn out, full extension, full length. You might be a shorter fighter, but if you know how to use full extension in your punch, you could be longer than the taller opponent. If I'm super tall and I'm jabbing with a bent arm, that's a short punch. I don't care how long your reach is, you're not using the weapon effectively at its full range. I might be shorter, but now I have full extension. I have an advantage when it comes to my reach, okay? So, elbow in, full extension when you throw that punch. Power comes off of the leg, and a lot of boxers will teach you to kind of pivot off that lead foot, which one, you might get more power in the jab, but it turns my heel out. Remember, this is a kickboxing and MMA channel, so I need to be very cautious about my heel position. Yes, I get more power with the bladed stance, but it opens me up to low kicks and not effectively being able to mix in my punch to kick combinations, okay? So make sure, push off the ground, good shoulder line, good angle lines, get good power, use that jab on different angles, different levels to set up those big power shots, and that's where the effectiveness in the jab comes from. We'll see you next time here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA.